We're now studying the tractate of Sotah, page number 6 in the tractate. And here we talk about a Mishnah that tells a statement that if a woman is married to a Kohen and she becomes accused of being with another person, at that point, there are various ways in which she becomes invalidated from partaking anymore of truma, the special food that was given to the Kohen and his family. How are the ways? So the Mishnah enumerates. One is if she admits. If she admits, she immediately becomes invalidated. A get, the divorce has to be given, but right away she becomes invalidated. The second situation is if witnesses said that she actually did an act which is prohibited with this person, and she wasn't just caught hiding, unknown if anything happened between them. The third situation is if she refuses to drink. She said, I don't want to take the potion. So she may be 100% innocent, but by saying she doesn't want to take the potion, she is not allowing the clarity to happen, and she automatically becomes invalidated to eat teruma, which is on behalf of her husband. The fourth one is if the husband refuses to make her drink, if he doesn't want to clarify, even though he may want her to continue doing, but the Torah law comes down that she cannot partake of truma anymore because something may have occurred. The next situation is if he slept with her after the event, meaning on the way taking her either to Jerusalem or after the accused event happened, he slept with her, but you're not supposed to. So that makes it that she can never drink the waters, because the waters can only be drunk only if she didn't sleep with him after the event that he accused her of happened. So this is what the Mishnah says. So Rav Sheshes says that if there is a witness that exists that knows that she actually did a prohibited act with the person she was not supposed to be with, but that witness is far away, the Medina Sayyam, far away from the Beth Din of Jerusalem, and they're not there to say their testimony, the water still doesn't check her. So not only when we know that she for sure did an act, but even when it's unknown to us, but there is a witness somewhere, the witness is, they know that she did an act, then the water does not check her. How do we know that? Because he brings a verse in the whole part of the Torah talks about the Sotah, the Eidein Ba, that there is no witness to this act. Even if the witness is not here, if there's no witness anywhere, then the water will work. But if there is a witness anywhere, the water will work. And the Gemara wants to say that our Mishnah concurs, seemingly, because it says one of the instances when she's invalidated to eat truma if witnesses came. But the question is, when did witnesses come? If they came before she drank, so obviously it's clear she's not allowed to drink. It's like she was now invalidated, the marriage is invalidated, and that's clear. We know that. So what are we saying when the witnesses came? Why do we have to make a special scenario? Witnesses came. So obviously we must be talking about if the witnesses came even after she drank, that it will not work within her. What kind of scenario is that? Only if the witnesses we're talking about are witnesses that are from elsewhere and they exist from elsewhere, and these witnesses now came forth, it doesn't check her. Because if she is checked by the water, even if witnesses exist elsewhere, and we say witnesses came now, then the witnesses are lying. Because if there are witnesses elsewhere, it makes no difference. So the fact that nothing happened to her is a proof that witnesses exist elsewhere. Not witnesses came and they concurred what happened then, and it didn't work on her the water because the witnesses exist elsewhere. And that's the way the story is. Rabbi Yosef says that no, the potion, he argues with Rabbi Sheish. He says the potion works even if the witnesses exist elsewhere. But he says there is something else that can happen that the potion doesn't work, and that is if she has a personal merit. Even though she did something prohibited or wrong, but some kind of a merit she may have that saves her, that doesn't work on her. And really, this concept, if there is chus, if there's a situation where merit helps you, is an argument already between Rebbe and Rabbanan, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanan and the rabbis. And the Rav Sheshes is of the opinion that both the rabbis and Rebbe agree that even if she has a merit, she deteriorates. The question is, how did she deteriorate? If she deteriorates immediately, slowly, not right away, she dies as would regularly happen, but she deteriorates slowly, or if she deteriorates not necessarily with this sickness, but she'll die a little later with something else. So that's what Shesh's opinion. But Rabbi Yosef says that the rabbis are of the opinion that she doesn't deteriorate. That the schus, a merit works for her, she doesn't deteriorate. So according to him, it's possible she doesn't deteriorate at all. Now we bring a question. Reb Shimon says that schus doesn't work, that we can't say a merit works, because then if a woman walks away from the water and nothing happened to her, then we're never sure if she actually didn't do an act with this person. Maybe she has another merit. So all of a sudden, everybody is suspect, even when they've walked away clear and fine. So according to Reb Shimon, we must say that even witnesses, he argues with Reb Sheshes, even witnesses, if they exist, but they're not here now to talk before she drank the potion, they also do not work, because we have the same concern that they'll say, really she's suspect. Why didn't it work? Because the witness is somewhere else. And that's why it didn't work. Then we have a few questions. Rab asks a question that we find that the woman has to bring a carbon mincha, she has to bring a meal offering with barley. But it says if witnesses come, then that meal offering is burnt. You do not, it's not offered fully properly. It's burnt because something, the law is something that's holy. That all of a sudden something happened that it can't be offered properly, it has to be burnt. It can't become mundane again. It remains holy. You can't offer it fully properly, but or you can't eat it, so it becomes burnt. So the question is, if witnesses come when? When did witnesses come to make this? If before it became holy, meaning before she drank the water and they went through the process of making it holy, so obviously witnesses came. So even though they prepared the meal offering, it goes back to mundane because the process of going through the Sotah situation didn't start yet. But if you say after it became holy, and she drank already the water, the potion, then now the only way to deal with it, you have to burn it. But if you say that if they're witnesses elsewhere, even if they didn't come yet, it saves her from being checked. Then, even though they brought the sacrifice thinking she drank already the water, and now she brings the sacrifice, then it became holy by mistake because we thought that she went through the process and now everything is good. So why should it be burnt? It should go back to mundane. So we answer it's not a question. Why is it not a question? Because we're not talking about witnesses came about an episode that happened a while ago. We're talking about witnesses came and said that even after they brought her up to Jerusalem to the temple, right now in front of us, obviously not right in front of us, a new episode she slept with someone. So therefore, that new episode causes that the sacrifice cannot be brought, because the sacrifice cannot be brought if she's going to die. Rav Papa says, um, he says that principally we're correct. Principally we're correct that really witnesses existed, and because of that, it should go become mundane. But the rabbis were careful and said people will not know the whole story, and the word will go out that someone brought a sacrifice, it became holy, sanctified, and then they made it mundane. So you're allowed to do that always, and they'll become very, very careless about things that are holy, things that they can become mundane easily. So the rabbis were more stringent, even when the Torah biblically allowed the meal offering to become mundane, the Torah rabbis say should be more stringent. So then we have a question from another source where we find that Adam Zayamin, that it says in the Mishnah, in a brisa, that if witnesses came to invalidate previous witnesses, and they said the witnesses that said that they saw her actually doing an act with someone, they were lying because they were with us at the time. So then it becomes mundane. So the question is, why is that different? How come the rabbis there weren't stringent to say, hey, once it becomes holy, we can't make it mundane again because people will not know the whole story? So the Gemara answers that's not a question, because when it comes to Eidim Zomamin, there's always announcements made, and everybody knows that witnesses came and validated other witnesses. So therefore, we associate why did it become mundane, the meal offering, even if it was made holy, because it was done by mistake. And when something's done by mistake, it never really became holy properly. The Gemara brings that we find an opinion according to Rab Sheshes, but from a different source. And the source is that it says, when the woman is being checked, it says with tahara and she's pure. An extra word. Why does it give us the extra word? She's pure. They tell us she's pure, but to exclude that if the witnesses in elsewhere that knew about that she actually slept with the person, she is not pure. Or if there's a schus, there's a merit, she's also not pure. So we know it from a verse, a different verse, and not from the whole discussion of Rab Sheshes. Rab Shimon, who says that schus does not work, but here he'll agree that witnesses do work, because merit, everybody walks away, they can say they have a merit, so they'll suspect everyone. But to say something far out, that someone has witnesses who are just too far to come here and say testimony, is so unusual. In the days, especially when travel didn't exist, etc. So we're not worried about creating situations for unusual. So schus, to say there's a merit, that every person we say, hey, perhaps they have a merit. So it could be they're guilty, but they're not being punished by Hashem with the potion because they have a merit. But to walk around and say, really, they're guilty. The reason that they were saved is because the witness is far away, but it's so far out. Rabbis did not make such a conclusion. That finishes off page 6 of Sotah.